The winter of 1942 was a season carved from misery. Soldiers froze where they stood. Supply routes died beneath mountains of ice, and the world narrowed into a brutal struggle for every breath. But among the countless tragedies of the Eastern Front, one story stands alone for its chilling mystery. The disappearance of the German 11th Recon Battalion, a unit that marched into the snow outside Stalingrad and never returned. Before we begin this investigation into one of World War II's most unsettling secrets, make sure you stay with the story until the end, because the final discovery still leaves historians divided and witnesses terrified. The battalion's final radio message came on a night when the moon was swallowed by clouds. The transmission was broken, panicked, and whispered as if the speaker feared being overheard. Shadows in the white. They're moving. Then silence. No coordinates, no follow-up, no survivors. To understand how an entire battalion could vanish without a trace, we return to the orders that sent them into what the German maps labeled only as Zone K. No one in command offered an explanation. Rumors among the soldiers painted it as a dead zone, abandoned by both armies, avoided even by wildlife. If you want to uncover what really happened in Zone K, keep watching. The truth only grows darker. Major Rademann led the battalion into the woods north of Stalingrad. Snow-smothered sound, and the wind felt as if it blew straight through bone. The men noticed something immediately. No tracks, no animals, no echo. Even the trees seemed to lean away from them. Rademann ordered the troops to spread out and move cautiously. Normally, reconnaissance units feared Soviet snipers or mines, but here, their fear was different, quiet, creeping, the kind that builds inside the ribs. Sergeant Kruger pointed to the ground. No footprints, no broken branches, just untouched snow, smooth as glass. As they advanced, they found something impossible. A Soviet forward camp. Tents ripped open, rifles frozen upright, and not a single body. The snow held only the shapes of where bodies used to be, perfect outlines, as if the soldiers had been lifted straight out of the earth. Private Vogel discovered the first symbol beneath a drift of ice, a glowing blue circle carved into the frozen ground. He touched it and recoiled. It was warm. What they didn't know was that these symbols were linked to something buried deep beneath Zone K, something the Soviets had tried to control, and feared they couldn't. Curious where the symbols lead? Stay with the story. This is where the nightmare begins. The battalion pressed forward, following the strange glow leading deeper into the forest. The temperature dropped, the light dimmed, the air thickened like syrup, making every breath a struggle. Then came the cry, a human voice, stretched, distorted, scraping through the trees. The men formed defensive lines, rifles shaking in their hands. Another cry closer. Then the sound of trees shifting, something large weaving between them with inhuman speed. The battalion stumbled into a clearing and found a Soviet bunker, its reinforced steel doors shredded outward as if something inside had forced its way out. The snow around it was melted, forming a circular crater of slush, despite the freezing air. Kruger found a frost-covered journal near the entrance. The Russian writing on the cover translated roughly to Project Koshai, a name rooted in legend, Koshai the Undying. Inside the bunker, the walls bore marks no human could make. Long, jagged grooves carved deep into the metal. Symbols pulsed faintly along the hallways, beating like a mechanical heart. At the bunker's core sat a shattered steel pod. Restraints hung broken. Frost steamed off the metal. Whatever had been inside was no longer contained. Footprints, enormous, dragging, led outward. As the men examined the chamber, a whisper slithered through the walls. Return. Before they could react, the lights flickered. A blast of freezing air extinguished their lamps, and something moved behind them. The screams that followed echoed through the bunker and into the forest, then faded into absolute silence. 3 weeks later, when a German relief unit finally reached Zone K, the forest was gone, reduced to blackened stumps by an SS firestorm. The ground was still warm even beneath the snow. No bodies were recovered, no weapons, no helmets. Only one thing remained: 327 rifles, the exact number of soldiers in the battalion, stacked neatly in a perfect circle around a fresh symbol glowing in the snow. The SS sealed the region overnight. Official reports claimed the battalion was lost in heavy combat, but no shots had been fired. No shell casings were found, and no one could explain the glow. Local villagers swore that for months after, the winds carried the cries of men pleading for help, followed by something cold and ancient answering them. The lost battalion of Stalingrad didn't just vanish, something took them, and whatever escaped the bunker beneath Zone K may have never stopped searching.